Rabaul, 1943. Elite Japanese pilots gather around intelligence reports describing a new American fighter entering service, the Grumman F-6F Hellcat. They read the specifications and begin laughing. To men who've mastered the legendary Mitsubishi A6M0, the most maneuverable fighter in the world, this American machine seems like an engineering joke. It's heavy, it's bulky, it violates every principle of their warrior philosophy, emphasizing agility and grace. These veteran aces, survivors of Pearl Harbor, the Philippines, and countless dogfights across the Pacific, cannot imagine how this crude American brute could possibly challenge their divine Zero. Within months, they'll discover they've catastrophically underestimated their enemy. This is the story of how the F-6F Hellcat achieved a 19-to-1 kill ratio and systematically destroyed not just an aircraft, but an entire philosophy of warfare. Before we dive into this incredible tale of engineering, tactics, and total dominance, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're covering the most decisive technological battles of World War II every single week, revealing the innovations and strategies that changed history. Now let's talk about why the Japanese Zero seemed invincible and how American industry engineered its downfall. The Mitsubishi A6M0 entered service in 1940 and immediately shocked the world. Nothing could match its performance. It could outturn any Allied fighter. Its range was unprecedented, allowing strikes hundreds of miles from carriers. Its rate of climb was exceptional, and in the hands of Japan's superbly trained pre-war pilots, men who'd spent years perfecting their skills, the Zero seemed unstoppable. Early war encounters were massacres. American Brewster Buffaloes were slaughtered. British Hurricanes couldn't compete. The Zero represented Japanese martial philosophy made metal. Light, fast, supremely agile, flown by warriors who dedicated their lives to mastery. But that philosophy came with fatal compromises. The Zero achieved its incredible maneuverability through extreme weight reduction. No armor protecting the pilot. No self-sealing fuel tanks. Minimal defensive armament. A single burst of 50 caliber machine gun fire could ignite a Zero's fuel tanks and turn the aircraft into a fireball. Japanese designers accepted this trade-off because they believed superior pilot skill would prevent enemies from landing hits. Their warriors would simply outfly any threat. Drop a comment telling us which World War II aircraft matchup you want covered next. Your engagement shapes our content. American intelligence knew they couldn't beat the Zero at its own game. Trying to build a more maneuverable fighter would take years and might still fail. Instead, they asked a different question. What if we don't fight the Zero's fight? What if we build something that uses American strengths, industrial power, and engineering to nullify Japanese advantages? Grumman Aircraft Engineering Corporation began designing the F-6F Hellcat in 1941 with one mission: kill Zeros. The design philosophy was revolutionary. Make it heavy and survivable. Install armor plating behind the pilot. Add self-sealing fuel tanks. Mount 6 50 caliber Browning machine guns with enough ammunition for extended engagements. Use the most powerful engine available, the Pratt & Whitney R2800 Double Wasp, producing 2,000 horsepower. Accept that you'll never outturn a Zero. Instead, be faster, climb better, dive faster, and above all, bring the pilot home alive. When Japanese intelligence officers saw the specifications, they were genuinely amused. The Hellcat weighed 12,000 pounds fully loaded. The Zero weighed 5,000. The Hellcat was basically twice the fighter, they joked. Twice the weight, twice the cost, twice the fuel consumption. American excess and waste made metal. They couldn't imagine how such a lumbering machine could threaten their nimble Zeros. The first shock came in September 1943 during raids on Marcus Island. Zero pilots engaged what they assumed would be easy prey. They executed their standard tactics: get behind the enemy, use superior maneuverability to stay there, shoot them down. But something impossible happened. The Hellcats simply climbed away. The Zeros, already at high power settings to maintain their tight turns, couldn't follow. The Americans climbed vertically, rolled over, and dove back down at speeds the Zeros couldn't match. When they attacked, their 6 heavy machine guns shredded Zeros that couldn't absorb the punishment. When Zeros tried to retaliate, the Hellcats just climbed away again. This was energy fighting. Tactic American pilots were being drilled on relentlessly. Never turn with a Zero. Use your superior power to weight ratio to maintain energy. Fight in the vertical, not the horizontal. Boom and zoom. Dive in fast, shoot, climb away before the Zero can react. The Japanese had spent decades perfecting turning dogfights. The Americans simply refused to engage in them. The psychological impact on Japanese pilots was devastating. Their entire training, their warrior identity, was built around dogfighting supremacy. Now they faced an enemy that wouldn't dogfight, that simply climbed away when they tried to engage, that killed them from angles they couldn't defend against. Veteran aces reported feeling helpless for the first time in their careers. Comment Hellcat if you're still watching, and share this with someone who loves aviation history. The Great Marianas Turkey Shoot in June 1944 demonstrated the Hellcat's dominance at industrial scale. Japanese naval aviation launched 4 massive raids against the American Carrier Task Force. They sent over 400 aircraft, the largest carrier air battle in history. American Hellcat pilots were waiting. The result was annihilation. The Japanese lost 315 aircraft. The Americans lost 29. Some Hellcat pilots scored 5 or 6 kills in a single afternoon. Experienced Japanese aviators, the best their training system could produce, were simply shot out of the sky by American pilots who'd been flying Hellcats for only a few months. This battle revealed another crucial American advantage: pilot training pipeline. By 1944, the United States was producing pilots faster than Japan could shoot them down. When an American pilot was killed, 3 replacements were already in training. When a Japanese pilot died, his years of experience and expertise died with him. Japan couldn't replace their losses. Their pre-war training system was too slow, too focused on individual mastery. America's system was industrial, scalable, designed to produce competent pilots in large numbers quickly. The Battle of Leyte Gulf in October 1944 produced perhaps the single most impressive Hellcat performance of the war. Commander David McCampbell, already an ace with multiple kills, was leading a 7-plane patrol when they encountered a massive Japanese raid: 60 enemy aircraft. 7 American Hellcats against 60 Japanese planes. McCampbell made a decision that defined the Hellcat's legend. He attacked. For 90 minutes, his tiny formation engaged the entire raid. McCampbell personally shot down 9 aircraft that day, bringing his total to 34 kills, making him the Navy's top ace. His wingmen got 6. The raid was shattered. Most never reached their targets. 7 Hellcats had defeated 60 Japanese aircraft because they had better tactics, better training, better aircraft, and pilots who understood that individual heroics mattered less than systematic advantages. By 1945, the Hellcat had evolved into something beyond a fighter. It became the shield protecting the fleet from kamikaze attacks. During the Okinawa campaign, Japanese suicide tactics represented their final desperate strategy. If they couldn't outfly American fighters, they'd simply crash into American ships. Hellcats flew continuous combat air patrols, intercepting kamikaze raids before they could reach the fleet. The F-6F's ruggedness proved crucial. Pilots could absorb damage from defensive fire, shoot down the kamikaze, and return safely. The Zero-based kamikaze aircraft were fragile. A single burst usually destroyed them. The Hellcat's 6 guns had enough ammunition to engage multiple targets per sortie. The final statistics are staggering. F-6F Hellcats destroyed 5,156 enemy aircraft in air-to-air combat, while losing only 270 Hellcats to enemy fighters. A 19-to-1 kill ratio. No other fighter in history has matched this level of dominance. 305 Hellcat pilots became aces, earning the aircraft its nickname, the Ace Maker. More American aces flew Hellcats than any other aircraft. The post-war analysis revealed why the Hellcat succeeded so completely. It wasn't just about the aircraft. It was about the entire system. American naval aviation integrated the Hellcat into a comprehensive approach to air combat. Superior radar guided fighters to intercepts. Aircraft carriers could launch and recover aircraft faster than Japanese carriers. Damage control procedures meant American carriers could absorb hits and continue operating. Pilot training produced replacements faster than combat attrition. Logistics kept aircraft maintained and supplied. The Hellcat was the centerpiece of an industrial war-making system that Japan simply couldn't match.